Alright, it's been over a year since my Worm Online video, and that video revolved entirely around the inevitable entropic decay of all that you know and love in this game, so I thought it would be fitting to show what's happened to my base since then. But first, there was actually a lot more work put into it than was originally shown in the video, and that's because when I released it, I told people I'd be standing around if they wanted to say hello. I expected a few people to show up and ring the bell as they passed through, but some of them decided to stick around. They started building, and I thought I promised myself I'd stay productive, but it was impossible to resist the urge to help them along, and so it all started with digging. The ability to slowly reshape the land with you and the boys is what always drew me the most to Worm Online. I feel like everyone has their own preference, but being able to see slow but steady progress is innately satisfying. I think that's why people watch my Factorio videos, all the satisfaction seeing something come together with none of the effort. I had to do a lot of the heavy lifting because I was the only one with a digging level high enough to do the big slopes, but after only an hour, the place is already starting to look much cleaner. Unfortunately, I didn't gather much footage of this place actually being built, but it was a wonderful team effort. You can see my original stuff on the left, and then all these beautiful buildings that cropped up. I mean, that week was peak Worm Online with all the people showing up and building their own little cottages. I built this storage house that ended up housing tons of dirt, and just riding around ferrying dirt around and setting up real infrastructure to use was just too much fun to resist. It's feelings like these that make me remember that even though Worm Online is a million years old, it's still got a lot left to enjoy about it. However, the problem is we'd built a lot, but more buildings doesn't automatically translate to anything meaningful. They're often empty and just built for the sake of being built, so with all this dirt moved and the buildings built, it was necessary to embark upon a new quest. I'm kicking myself for not recording it all, but even though it was just me and a bunch of random people who'd watched my video, we got it in our heads to set up our own road straight to our place. The only one that existed previously was the one that the unruly neighbor built, and so it felt appropriate to make a new one that attaches directly to the road to that friendly neighbor instead. All of the roads in this game were built much like this, just a bunch of random people moving tons of dirt, and it was tons of dirt. As it turns out, making a road that goes all the way down from a mountain to near sea level takes a ton of work, and it was nothing compared to some of the mega roads in this game, but that's the fun of it. You can see me running up the finished product now, and keep in mind this used to be nothing but wilderness. I even decided to make a little tower over here for no particular reason. The issue becomes that once you're finished with that, you're like, now what? And that's where Worm splits for some people. Some players embrace the grind and endeavor to get their stats as high as possible, but for a lot of people, moving the earth and building the settlement is all the fun, and the moment you're out of goals, it just isn't that interesting anymore. It's this strange thing where you only want to build the houses, but not live in them. Unless you have a head for massive vanity projects, there's just not much else to do. Someone suggested making a Colossus, but that would have taken forever, and my membership was running out, so I thought it was time to draw the curtain on Bell's End Outpost. The settlement had enough juice in it to last another 6 months, and so that's how things stayed. I'll let you soak it all in. Now it's time for the point of all of this. What did it look like after it became a shambling heap? Well, despite falling asleep in a bed, I awake to an empty patch of ground. The fences are half destroyed, and the entrance to the mine is gone. Inside, things are still in place, but it has an eerie feeling now, especially remembering all the forging that I did here to make all the shovels and tools for the highway project. There's a goblin inside. I attack it and take a lot more damage than I was expecting because I forgot that without my premium active, my fighting level is capped at 20. The Bell's End Tower is gone, but in its place, someone set up a memorial. I've got no idea who could have done this, but it's incredible that after a whole year, someone came by and repaired the bell tower. It's enough to bring a tear to your eye. It goes without saying, but almost everything is gone. I was going to get a more impactful view of it, but I got ganked by a bear and a spider and started having connectivity issues, so I died. And with my settlement gone, I was forced to spawn at one of the default settlements, and no exaggeration, it was a 12-minute walk just to get back. Also, for some reason, dying made everything winter, but at least you can get the full experience coming in from our new road. The winter textures kind of add to the experience. This settlement and that video has become a part of the very story it sought to tell. There's nothing here but the cobblestones and the ghost of a memory, and that's beautiful. But in this valley, new life is formed. From an offshoot of my very road, there's this little settlement on the mountaintop. There was another city atop the other mountaintop, and towards the back there's this quaint little village. You might notice something else. There's no Zoid in the local area. I don't know if it was the same person that set up the memorial, but all the backyard buildings that have been placed by the unruly neighbor to deter people like me have been torn down. Remember the road that led to his settlement? The one that said, "Don't waste your time and turn away"? Well, in its place is the most wonderfully welcoming lodge I've ever seen. For a time, to be able to build in this area, someone had to spend real money to make a settlement named Bell's End Memorial, and used it to not only build this, but also fill in the troll pit that he'd built. All those surly messages have been replaced with countless welcoming ones, and his own tunnel has been repurposed to lead to this massive lodge up here. You might wonder how the neighbor took all of this. Well, at the end of his path, it's blocked up with fences, and now his entire deed is locked away from the outside world. What an interesting character he was. I had to go all the way around to confirm it, but yes, his mountain base is completely locked down now. Running all the way back to the ruins of my old base will be a pain, so I guess this is where I'm logging out. He didn't seem to be on recently, and so who knows, maybe in another 10 years I'll log back on and see that this place has crumbled into nothing as well, and that's the beauty of Worm Online.